Great. I think we're going to start this workshop this morning. I would like to welcome you. This morning we're going to talk about charcoal. Before talking about charcoal, I'd like to first talk about why do we have charcoal, why God gave us charcoal, and why not only charcoal but all natural remedies, and what is the purpose of it? Why do we have it? And as Adventists especially, what is our responsibility and what is the task God wants us to do? And how we can use it with wisdom. Yeah, I'd like first to introduce myself shortly. My name is Karen. I'm born in Switzerland, in the French part of Switzerland. And since now 4 or 5 years, I'm working in TGM, and this is a mission school and also a health center that is in Austria. And we're having there one course year for missionaries, for anyone who wants to come and learn how to be a missionary in a more effective way to serve the Lord. There's also there a health center where we receive guests, when we offer them also some course, a new start course. So the goal is not, we also like to spoil them, that they feel well, but the goal is also that they are learning something, that they take this with them and that they apply it for their life. So education is a principle also in health. It's better to educate people than to have to treat them when the disease is already there. So that's one of the reasons why we have also a health center. We want to educate the people and how to be healthy, how to also be a good testimony for others when we look healthy, when we want to live healthy, and also when we think healthy, for example. Yes, so that's about me. Now I would like to ask you, all of you, if you have expectations from this workshop this morning. What are your expectations? Or maybe you don't have any, which is also totally fine.
She says that we know that charcoal is a good remedy recommended by Ellen White, and we'd like to know as many uses as possible too.
I see. You would like to know many uses with the charcoal, how to use it. Great. I hope I will. Yes, we will cover those topics and see. I would like also to share experiences, what I had with the charcoal, how we can help people with it. Yes. Is there any other expectations? Okay. Then we can move on in the topic. So as an introduction, as I told you, I want to speak first about something I have on my heart, which is called medical missionary work. You probably already heard about this term. And it is very important to understand that medical missionary work is not only for doctors. Okay? I would like to read this quote that is from Testimonies. You can follow it with me on the screen. We have come to a time when every member of the church should take hold of a medical missionary work. It says every member of the church. The world is a laser house filled with victims of both physical and spiritual disease. It's not only physical but spiritual disease. Everywhere people are perishing for lack of knowledge of the truth that have been committed to us. So God has given us a treasure. God has given us knowledge. He has given us a lot of wisdom how to treat disease. He has given us so much precious advices how to be healthy, not only physically but also spiritually healthy. And out there people are perishing. So that's why God is calling us to be medical missionary work. God doesn't say that He wants to educate doctors and go to... I'm not saying it's bad, we need doctors, but everyone is called to be a medical missionary work. Even children, even older people, everyone who feel the call, So they are perishing for lack of knowledge and of the truth that have been committed to us. The members of the church are in need of an awakening that they may realize their responsibility to impart this truth. So that's our responsibility. And this morning we're gonna talk about charcoal. Before we had also a very great presentation about other natural remedies. So those are all involved in those knowledge that God wants to give us. Now it is important to understand, and because it's easy to forget, that the great healer is God Himself, and the power is not in the nature, but God put those laws in the nature for us. But He is behind it, and He is the healer. He is giving life, He is giving healing. He's the one. So any remedy you apply, you will invite God to bless it, to ask Him to do His great work through those remedies, yeah? So that's the first principle, very important. It is easy to forget that God is behind this. He's the one. I'd like to also share another principle. It is a book that I recommend to you. Probably you read it, Ministry of Healing. Have you read this book? Ministry of... Yes, I see some hands. This is an awesome book. We should read it. We should study it over and over and again. It's full of many principles. And one of those that is important to understand is those 3 steps that Ellen White is giving us in case of sickness. The first step says, what do we do when we are sick? We need to find the cause, okay? Maybe you heard about this illustration. If you have a room and a tape, a water, a sink, and the water is flowing, yeah? It's flowing, and the water it's then going on the floor. Everywhere you have water, almost a swimming pool there. What are you gonna do first? You turn off the tape, right? You're not gonna start to sweep the water out of the floor, but first you're gonna turn off the tape, the water, which makes sense, isn't it? Yeah? So it's the same when you have sickness. You need to find the cause, and you need to treat then the cause of it. This is why the second steps that Ellen White is saying is that you will change those conditions, the conditions that are not healthy, that you know, yeah? The wrong habits needs to be corrected. So God gave us also reasoning. God is giving us understanding. He wants us to be responsible of our health. He's saying that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, isn't it? We don't belong to ourselves. We have a responsibility toward God to use our body to be also healthy. So He wants us to correct our habits, and in this way to glorify Him. So first, find the cause. Second, correct the wrong habits. And third steps, assist the nature. Yeah? We assist the nature to help the body to excrete or to expel, to clean it for all impurities, and to reestablish right conditions. We have the tendency to jump and to go directly on these third steps because it's easier, yeah? It's easier to make charcoal poultice. It's easier to drink more water. It's easier to do those things when we're already sick. But that's not what God is asking us to do. God wants us to put effort in it. He wants us to reason. He wants us to change. And He wants us to realize this responsibility we have. So before I talk to charcoal, it was important for me to that you understand that charcoal is part of these third steps, yeah, to assist the body when the sickness is here, or when you realize, okay, something is wrong in my body, or I need to do something to help there, okay? Very important. Yes, so we are responsible for our health, and one important thing also is, so we're responsible for ourselves, for our body, but we want to be a light for others. God is calling us to share this knowledge, and I have a bit experience, but not so much yet. I'm looking forward that I can be much more helping others with this, because this is also why God is giving us this treasure, this to be help for others. It can be in your family when you have children, yeah, for your children, for your parents, your siblings, you have probably neighbors, you have friends, maybe you did some travel, some wherever you are, that you can apply those remedies to help the people that need this help, that are perishing. Good. Is there some question till now? If not, we're gonna move on and talk about charcoal. Yeah, I have just few information about charcoal, what it is, and there are two kinds of charcoal that we talk about. There are the normal charcoal, and the charcoal that is activated, and we're gonna see the differences. It's even more powerful. Yeah, it works differently. So I just want to give you a few facts of the history. There was some courageous person, or courageous, or a bit, I don't know if I will dare to do it. So they made some experiences. This was in 1550. They made some experiences. They took some poison that would normally kill the people. Yeah, and I will show you here. So, for example, this French chemist his name was Michel Bertrand. He ingested 1 teaspoon of arsenic, which is 150 times the lethal dose. So 150 times more of the dose that normally kill you. Yeah, is killing you. And he survived. Yeah, he survived because he mixed what he took. He mixed it with activated charcoal. There were other less fortunate scientists that had difficulties, that some of them didn't survive even. And the reason can be that the people that made this experiment, they took charcoal that was not activated. So the activated charcoal is more powerful. And there's another guy also a French person that made also similar experiences and also survived. So all those experiences prove but we don't have to make those experiences to know that charcoal is working. Yeah, it's just interesting fact. So why is it called activated charcoal? The charcoal is activated because it's produced to have very fine particle size. Yeah. So the charcoal has a big surface, and this surface has a capacity of absorbing the toxin. Yeah. Now there's a difference when it's activated. It's just a process of making the charcoal that is different, and that will make the surface even bigger, even 3 times more than the normal charcoal. I'd like to show you this picture that you can understand better. So you see that's how the charcoal look like. If you go closer, you see those pores. Yeah. And when the charcoal is activated, this surface is getting bigger. It's getting much bigger. So to understand how charcoal is working, you have 2 words, absorption with a B and adsorption with a D. Yeah? And absorption, it will work more like, for example, you have a sponge and you will put this sponge in the water. The sponge will absorb the water. It will go inside. Okay, and this is what we call absorption. The charcoal is working differently. The charcoal will adsorb. It means that all the toxin will stay on the surface. They will not go in, but they will stay on the surface of it. And that's what we call adsorption. So that was a specific with the charcoal. So it can bind other substances on his surface, yeah. And then in this way, clean the body for the toxin now, yeah. So just for you to imagine that 3 grams of activated charcoal can have the surface of a football field. Yeah? Imagine how big it is. Just 3 grams, so 3 grams is nothing. Yeah? It's just maybe 1 spoon or something. It has the surface of a football field. Yeah? And 50 grams, those can have the surface area of 10 football fields. Yeah? So it's huge, it's very powerful. Charcoal is amazing. Yeah?
Can you repeat these numbers, please?
Yes, I can repeat it, the numbers. So 3 grams, this is now the activated charcoal. 3 grams of it, it's like the surface of a 1 football field. And then 50 gram dose can have the surface of 10 football fields. Yeah. So all those spores makes the surface bigger, but we don't see it with our eyes. You have a question?
Yes, so since the capacity of absorption is so big and is so strong, what do we know about dosage? Can dosage, can we...
Which dosage we should use? Yeah.
In children, all those...
So as far as I know, we're going to talk about it later, about the side effect. There is not really overdosage, okay? It has some side effect, like one of the most common is constipation. But the charcoal itself will not cause any damage to you, even if you take too much, yeah? Okay? So it has no side effect. Just constipation, it's color your stool also, and it has also the effect that if you are taking medicine or pills or drugs, it will also remove the effect of those because it's taking everything out of your body, yeah? Yeah. So charcoal is made out of wood, different wood. The most common is eucalyptus, willow, pine, oak, beech. It can also be out of coconut shell. When you buy it at the pharmacy, be sure that the quality is that is made out of wood. They also have some charcoal that is made out of bones or other things that are not the best quality. And we want to avoid to have those kind of charcoal. So be sure when you buy charcoal to have it the proper one, yeah, that is out of wood. So the usual charcoal is formed when wood is heated in the absence of air. Charcoal can be easily made at home also. I don't know if you want to try it. If you are adventurous, if you like to try new things, you can try it out in your garden. So cut the wood in an uniform size and remove the bark. Stack the wood tightly together in a hole in the ground and start a fire. Yeah? After the wood begins to burn, cover it with earth or a piece of thyme. Leave a small vent, an opening for admitting limited amount of air, just a bit amount of air, okay? Because the idea is that the wood will burn but very slowly, okay, to avoid to have the flame and to have at the end charcoal, yeah? So leave the charcoal inside to cover a hole until it cools and heat it charcoal with, afterward they heated the charcoal again. Well, you can also go and buy it if you like. So for medicine use, break the charcoal into coarse pieces and sterilize the charcoal. They sterilize it afterward by heating it in a clay pot or in an oven 20-30 minutes, and then you can just grind it and you will have powder. So you can have powder in different form when you buy it. You can buy the capsule, you can buy some tabs. I prefer personally to have a powder, especially at home, because it's also economic and you have a bigger amount. You can make also poultices with it. And capsules, I like them when I'm traveling. I always take it with me. It's very practical, and also if you don't like it maybe to drink it. Personally, I don't mind. It has no taste. It's just that it's a bit like sand. It has this that it can a bit irritate or scratch, but I think it's not a problem at all. Maybe for children, it's, yeah, you have to see, to try it out, what is better.
There are also empty capsules that
Yes.
you can fill maybe with,
Yes, you can also have the empty capsule and fill them. Just be sure you are well covered. It can be very messy, but it's, for sure it's good to have them. So when it's activated, we talk about it already, and they are making a process. There are two kinds of process to activate the charcoal. And so one of them is that they will, let's talk about the chemical process. So chemical activation is preferred over heat activation, owing the lower temperatures and shortened time needed for activating material. So both processes further erode the charcoal's internal surfaces. So basically, it just created more pores inside of the charcoal and increase the surfaces. So that increase also the power of adsorption, like we talked about already. Yeah. So they will either heat the charcoal in very high temperature in the presence of gases like CO2, or they will put this charcoal in contact with chemicals like phosphoric acid or potassium hydroxide, and then expose this in a very high temperature, like 400 until 900 Celsius degrees, yeah, to make it more powerful.
So you said chemical is the best?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just easier, I guess. Mm-hmm.
When we hear the word chemical, we stay away.
Yeah, so chemical is not necessarily something bad, because chemic is in the nature, yeah?
Yes.
It's molecules, it's CO2, it's, yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you,
Yes.
in the pharmacy, what kind of charcoal do they sell? I mean, you can buy activated or unactivated charcoal?
Yes. You can find both when you're buying. I guess it will depend the pharmacy where you go. You can also find, we are selling it, for example, in our health center. We know exactly where we order it. We know the quality, and the activated charcoal has a higher price. It's up to you to see if it's for you worthy or not. We use at the health center, we use the activated one.
You can find both.
You can find both. Yeah.
Both the types.
Yeah, you can find. You just ask. I guess they can counsel you where you go, and they can.
Powder also. I mean,
It's powder, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can find both. So here, here you can see this principle we talk about, absorption and absorption. So this will be more maybe a clay, you know clay? So clay is working more like this, it's absorbed. And this is the charcoal. So the toxin will stay at the surface of the charcoal, yeah? It's not going inside. It's just for you. It's nice to understand and maybe to pass it on. People like to understand how it works, yeah? It's important to understand how it works.
But anyways, the activated is the best. So
Yes.
it helps.
Yes.
Taking the bad things inside.
Yes. So this is for any kind of charcoal, even if it's not activated. If you don't have activated charcoal and you need it, use it. It's still very powerful, okay? It's just the activated is even more. So we talk about the forms of charcoal: tablets, capsules, powder, or liquid. Even I never saw this liquid, but yes. So it's good to have it at home. Some for travel, it's good to have capsules. Or even if you travel, I have here like a glass with some powder inside. You can even put a plastic around to be sure that it will not open, because if you have, so the charcoal is making stain, you cannot remove it unless you try right away and with a lot of prayer, it's not going away, yeah? So just be sure to pack it well in your luggages. So what are the use of charcoal? Maybe you can help me. In which case do you take charcoal?
That was my next question.
Have you ever used it? Yes, for what?
Stomach aches.
Stomach aches?
They asked about the expiring date, if it expires or not.
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe it's kept out in the air, maybe.
I don't think charcoal can get bad. I never heard about expiring date. I mean, when they sell it, they probably have to put a date there. I don't think this can go
The
bad.
chemicals in the activated, maybe if it's out in the air, maybe in time they...
I don't think it's going bad. Charcoal, you can use it anytime. It's staying. Yes, so now we're gonna see the oral use when you take it internally, yeah? So for problem with digestion, stomach ache, vomiting, nausea, okay, when you have bloating, also when you have discomfort there. And digestion is one of the most common problem people have, okay? And we take it, oh yeah, this is normal, it will go away, but often it's not normal, yeah? Our digestion should be also healthy.
So for bloating, is okay?
For bloating, it's also very, very good. When you have gases, yeah, fermentation. And so,
Because, for example,
yes,
if someone starts just to change the diet into vegetarian, and
yes,
I have this, also myself this years, but now I'm more knowledge and I know how to eat, right?
Yes.
But there are people who mix
yes,
even the vegetarian food
yes.
badly.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's a lot of bloating that which
Yes.
is not good, and they say, oh, this type of food is not good for you.
That's very important what you're saying, yeah. It's,
Maybe also charcoal can help a bit
yes.
the system get used to.
Yeah, so you're speaking about how to, when you change your diet and you become vegetarian, you have to know how to eat and how to do the right combination. We are all different, but there are principles that are to follow.
Mixing sweet with salt.
For example, not eat sweet things after lunch, or mixing fruit and vegetables, or such principles. We are eating also beans, lentils, that are onions, all those things that we know that can create this. So this will be the second step to correct habits, right? To adapt your diet, to make the right choice, also what you eat, in which time. And then the third steps will be to take charcoal, for example, to assist it. But it's not that you will continue eating like before and then just take everyday charcoal. You know what I mean? This is a big difference. Yeah, thank you. It was very, very good to understand. So when you use the charcoal orally, you can just simply dissolve the charcoal in a cup. 1 until 2 tablespoons, so you can really put a good amount, generous spoon, in a glass of water. If it's difficult for you to drink it, you can also make half of the cup. It's just very good or important to drink afterward at least 1 cup of water, just to avoid constipation and just to make it to go down, yeah, in your tract. Yes. You will see also that it's not so easy to dissolve the powder in the water. So what you can do, you can boil water and put it on top. It's easier. Or you can prepare it ahead and just leave it for some minutes or for some times, and it will then go easier. It will dissolve easier. Yeah. So wait a little bit before you drink directly. Yeah. It should be well dissolved. Yes, so the charcoal has no toxic effect, as we say, and you can use as much as needed and as often as needed also, yeah. Just be aware that if you have some medication, to take it in between, but and also to not take it during the meal. Now, if the cause why you want to take it was because of the food, of course you will take it after the food, yeah. That makes sense. So use and benefits, we talk about digestion, so bloating and vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, but there are also other effects. You can use it also as a teeth whitening to make your teeth more white. So this is black, but it makes your teeth more white, yeah. You should just be careful with the charcoal, because charcoal is like sand, it has small particles. If you use it too often, it's abrasive, it's removing so use it really not often. Like, you can see by yourself how often you want to use it, but Not every day, really. Yes, because the activated charcoal, it loves tannins. Tannins, you know, tannins is all what is contained in the food, like coffee or the teas, the wine, all those things, or cigarette that makes the white, gives the yellow. So they are working against it, yeah. Okay. So you can mix this charcoal, yeah, in your toothpaste. You can also find toothpaste that have charcoal inside. You can use coconut oil, that is very good also to clean your teeth. They are killing bacteria and they have nice taste. Also for children, you can mix some charcoal inside. You can make your own paste with also some essential oil, with peppermint, for example, it gives a nice breath, or eucalyptus, whatever you like, yeah? Okay. So we talk about the second point already. It's also something that is used for filtering water. They use it as filter. Cleansing, detoxing, poisoning and drug overdose. They use it also in a hospital when people have overdoses. They use charcoal. And diarrhea, nausea, vomiting. You can also use the charcoal as a eye drop. You can make eye drop with this. I can give you after this presentation a recipe how you can make it easily eye drop. I don't have the material here, but it's very easy to do it. Basically, you put the charcoal in the water. I will give you later how much the amount. And then you will let this water go through a filter, like a coffee, tea filter, and you just use this water afterward. You can store it in a glass with this kind of, you know, pipette, how you call this, yeah? And then or just something else, and then you can put some drops in the eyes. So this is very good against infections. Exactly. Any kind of eye infection, or if you have redness, or if you have some pus, discomfort in the eye, dryness. I don't know about dryness. Yes? Okay. You have experience with dryness. Okay, super. For dryness also. Yeah, dryness, it's a very common problem.
You mix it with salt.
With salt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, with salt. It should be like the body liquid, yeah, and CL, yeah. Sorry?
How much drops?
How much drops? You can put 1 to 2 drops in the eye, yeah. And regularly during the day. There is no overdose for this. Great. For the skin and joint infections, so this will be as a poultice. I will show you later how to do it. Bee stings, spiders. Now the bees it's the time wasps are there, right? Wasps and bees. So if you have a sting, you can put on it a charcoal. If you don't have charcoal, put onion on it. You can use vinegar, you can use aloe, you can use many things, yeah? Just put something on it. And so charcoal is helping liver and kidney disease, and also for toothaches and gum infection. I also had an experience, I think it was at the time when COVID was starting, I started to have toothache, and it was more difficult to go to the dentist, yeah? And it was funny because I didn't see what was happening, and then I went to town to this emergency doctor or dentist, and yeah, there was no way to go in because of this COVID situation. And then I went home again and I started praying, okay, now maybe it's an opportunity for me to not run directly to the doctor, but to use the method that God gave us. And so I applied, I made a very tiny poultice. I put it in a cotton cloth and I put it in the mouth and I leave it there the day. I mean, it was funny to work with this, but I think the same day the pain was gone and it went away. Yeah.
And about gum disease, how would you apply it?
Sorry?
For the gums, if they're bleeding and
If they are bleeding.
if there's a problem with the gums, how would we use it?
Yes.
Some sort of poultice also?
Yes, you make a poultice. So it's just tiny. It's just, yeah.
For example, I have a situation with my gums, and
Yeah.
I know the medicine has no remedies.
Yes.
With medicine for the gum disease.
Okay.
And I'm much more interested to know the natural, because I believe in the natural remedies.
Yes.
How would I use it for my
Yes.
gums?
So I don't know the issues exactly what you have. It's working for infection, yeah.
No, it's just gum retractions.
Retraction. Okay, and that's something else.
Slowly, by time late,
Mm-hmm.
and also sometimes bleeding because of some. Okay.
Yeah, we can
How would
totally.
I use it?
How to use it? So I will show you after how to make this poultice. It's just the size is gonna be much smaller. You can use then a paper towel. For the mouth, I use a cotton cloth, just a simple cotton cloth, and you put it in and you rub. It's really small amounts like this because it should fit in your mouth, and then you put it in. Yeah, you just put it in the mouth between the gum and your lips inside. Yeah, and you leave it there for some hours, and you can apply it how often you want according to your needs. Yeah, does it answer your question?
Yes, I will try. I'll see.
Yeah,
I will try.
yeah, you need to try it out. Yeah,
So
makes
I
it.
won't have my teeth black afterwards. No.
It can be black, but then when you will brush, they will be whiter than before. That's the good thing with charcoal. Okay, so that was the uses and benefits. And the side effect we talk also, so you will have black stool, don't be afraid, this is normal. It's also a good trick to, if you want to know how fast you are digesting food, it should be no more than 24 hours, yeah. So if you see that the time you take charcoal and then it's coming later than 24 hours, the color, and don't panic, but yeah, a good digestion is about 24 hours, yeah. So constipation is why when you take charcoal, drink a lot, not only when you take charcoal, but especially when you take charcoal, drink a lot of water, avoid to intake with medication, and there is no concern of overdosing it. Yes. Great. Good. That was for the theory. Is there questions so far? I think we arrived to the end. I will now show you how to make it. If you want, you can come closer, or you can even at the end come and see how it works. So to make a poultice, I just use charcoal powder. Yeah, come here. Come closer.
Maybe the best is from this side, that the camera can have a check out also from this side.
Thank you. So the first thing to think is to protect your clothes, especially when you have clothes you like.
It's a black apron.
Yes, it's a black apron, or you put a black t-shirt on. And so what I need is charcoal, whatever the one you have. I have some flaxseed, grounded flaxseed, you know.
Yeah.
They are grinded, okay?
So that would be good to avoid constipation?
Because we won't take it inside, this is a poultice, it's external use. So the flaxseed will make the poultice give a texture, first of all. It's because it's slimy. It will have to be moist, because the charcoal, if it's dry, it's not working anymore. So the charcoal should remain moist. As long as it's moist, it will have this, yeah. It's like clay. For example, if you have, those face masks with clay, when it's dry, you remove them because they don't, yeah. And so it has also its benefits with this moisture. So now you need water also. I find it more practical to use those kitchen towels. You can also remove one layer. It's not so easy, but it's doable.
Or maybe we can just only 2 layers, not the 3 layers. No,
Yeah,
from the start.
it's just, it's better to not put it directly on the skin because charcoal, yeah. Especially if you apply it on a wound that is open, it's making a tattoo and it can stay, yeah. So be careful on open wound. If not, then it's fine. So if you take thinner, it can even more go directly to your body, yeah. So let's use this one. So I have a bowl.
So as a poultice, we use it for like a skin rash or?
Yes, you can use it for skin rash. You can use it if you have sting, like bees sting.
Okay.
Or if, I don't know where you're living, if you have snake and you got bite from snake. If you have this case, I will take internally and also outside to put a poultice, and of course I will then go to the doctor if those are dangerous.
For bacterial infections, will it take the bacteria away or?
Bacterial, the wound you mean that are
I mean,
infected?
if you know, like sometimes you have a staph on the skin.
Yes,
on the skin.
sure.
Would you
It will
the
take.
staph away
Yes,
from the skin?
yes. I had an experience. We had a.
Staphylococcus, mă refer dacă este bacterie de staphylococcus pe piele.
It's pulling out. There was a girl, a young girl. We had an orchestra weekend. They came in TGM to make a concert, and she got stung from a bee, and she scratched it so much. The day after, she had such a big wound, abscess, and it was full of pus. And we applied this, and the day after, the wound was open. It was a big hole, and the thing, I could just take out the yellow. And then we apply a second time, and it helped a lot. So it's really sucking this out like a vacuum, yeah? And it can go very deep in your organ.
But for bacteria, I ask because I know they never go away. Like the staph in children, except if you have it on skin, you can use so many medicine and it never goes away.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm interested if it helps or not.
Yeah.
I understand with pus or poisoning, it absorbs. What about bacteria?
Bacteria also. Then there are specific bacteria.
Well, it's Staphylococcus aureus or there's so many bacteria out there.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
T3, do you know T3?
Yes.
T3.
I have an experience with him. He had skin, and I use all essential oils. I have plenty, but it works much better than the.
Ridicată imunitatea trebuie, că stafilococul este peste tot, aproape toți îl avem, dar numai la unii se manifestă și știu că la copii este uneori foarte periculos, dar să mergeți concomitent și cu ridicarea imunității.
Yeah, we can talk later, maybe. But what I know also, when you take internally, it's killing. For me, the only time that I took charcoal, I was in Africa and I had diarrhea, and it was not going away. And I was, what's going on? And then I got to know that charcoal is not working against parasites.
And parasites is not working.
It's not working. And people there often are in India, they are eating spicy food because they like it, but also because it's killing. So I took then, I didn't know at that time, and then I took those pills that they take the people there regularly. So I'm not totally against, we need balance, yeah. But then I got to know it later that cayenne pepper, for example, or garlic, but you need good amount, and you need to be regular, and that's something also important. Killing those parasites, yeah.
So it's not killing parasites?
Parasite, no, not this type I had at least, and yeah.
So, as you said, we need to be balanced, and also not to think of one treatment like it will solve everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, as I mentioned, I also use essential oils,
Yes.
which are excellent.
Yes.
But also I'm interested in charcoal and in water usage. And
Yeah, we have plenty of those. We need wisdom, and most of all, we need God's guidance. And sometimes you don't have something right away, and you cannot. So you just pray also, and you see how God will guide it. It's the most important. So I'll show you. In the institution where I'm working, we use 1 big spoon of charcoal. So each 1 big spoon of charcoal will be corresponding to 1 small spoon, okay? So now I put 2 big of charcoal, so I put 2 of flaxseed. This is flaxseed, yeah. It's not exact
So it's 2 to
science, yeah. No, it's 2 to 2, but too big to too small.
Yes, but 2 little ones would make 1 big one.
That's
so
right.
2 to 1.
2 to 1, you're right. You're right. And then you put water very slowly because you want to avoid to have it too liquid, but you want it to have a nice paste that is not too dry. That's black, yeah.
Not on open wound, but we cover our skin with tissue.
Yes, you can cover with this. You need to be careful. There are some cases, if you have no other option, you might think, okay, it's better to have a tattoo than to have, yeah, you know what I mean.
But to do for how long? For
It can stay forever, yeah. Yeah, because, yeah, it can stay. I never have such a cases. I never cannot tell you much more, but we should just consider this an open wound. This is why also we put the paper in between. And also the best time to apply it is that you leave it overnight. So be sure that you protect your bed. You put something to protect. You can put a black bed sheet or a towel. Mm-hmm. And very important, and maybe it's logical, but when you use one poultice and it's all the time, you use it once and that's it, you throw it away. Yeah, because now you understood how it works, so you can imagine how many toxins will be in there. So we use it just one time, we don't reuse it. So this will be too liquid. But that's fine because we have more charcoal. Looks nice, right? It should not be so liquid, so I will ask.
if it's too liquid, it's difficult to apply. I have made it even with this on the baby, but in the Pampers. For the red
Irritation.
Yes, but no problem. Just you have to.
Yeah, and if it's too liquid, it will come out and then make a mess. So it should be approximately like this. Oh. You see now how it's the powder is so fine that if you just sneeze or breathe on it.
Maybe put a mask on, yes. You're used to the mask now.
So it's around this layer, you see?
Okay.
You make a jelly, and then you make how much you need according to the amount, the surface. If it's a knee or if it's a shoulder, and you put it in the middle. You make it good thick.
The young fellow is the patient.
I'm happy if no one needs it. That's also good. So you have to make it quite thick, okay? Be generous. 1-2 centimeters.
How do we put them in the fridge?
How we put them in the fridge?
Because I know a lot of people in Africa.
Yes.
Put it somewhere.
Yes, we do that. If you do it with flaxseed, just don't leave it longer than 2-3 days because flaxseed are oxidizing and they got bad.
So it can be stored in the
Yes, so you just
prepared like this?
exactly. So you fold it like this. I show you how, yeah? If you use it right away, you just take it like this, you see, and you put it somewhere. Yeah. If yes, sure. So I will now.
What? Is it for my husband? He has thyroid.
Okay. Mhm. And if you want to store them or just to take them somewhere, you just fold it like this.
Okay, what type of tile? I mean, you know, all I know is that this is very good. But
Yeah.
like having a manual of, for the usage, it would be more practical. So
Yeah.
when you have a problem, just go check in the manual. Is it good? Okay, like I don't know.
Everything like taking out toxins.
Toxins.
Everything that is.
You have to know they are going this. There are different kind of poultice, but charcoal is also going deep in the organ, so you can also use to detox the liver, for example. There are other kind of poultice like castor oil. If you have heard of it, this is going quite very deep, even deeper in your organ. So you have to see what you have and make experiences. But I think you can use it for pretty much everything. Yeah, it's
So
kind.
this one is good for baby skin problems, for
Yeah.
red skin, for thyroid problems,
Mhm.
for, you know, sometimes people have dermatitis also.
Yeah.
Many things. For snake bite, for bee sting, but these are emergencies. The bee sting and the snake bite, and if you're bitten, you can start preparing clays by powder, where is my medicine. You need to have those in your fridge. And also one other thing is for you have dogs.
Maybe I would like just to close this workshop and then we can continue after, just because of the streaming. I would like to thank you so much for being such a nice group, and I pray that God will bless and also your knowledge that you can be a blessing for others and apply it. Thank you.
Thank you.